Hey, this is Clutch Jesse V, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the smash hit Joel Bateman, Australia's premier deathmatch wrestler, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the trophy boy, Tyler Klein, the designer to the wrestling world, and you are listening to the Wrestling with Entertainment podcast.
This is the Obro Owen Brody, and this is Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Robin Renegade, and you're listening in on Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the baddest black belt, Janai Kai, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the Suplex Assassin, Alex Kane, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers on Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. I am, of course, your host, James Shea, alongside Kaliko Yachts.
Do you know where I keep all my dad jokes? In a dada base. Got it.
And Scooter Dust.
You know why nurses love red crayons? Because sometimes they have to draw blood.
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with, representing the Big Stocks brand, from Suplex Island, the Suplex Assassin, the Kaiju Standard, the Suplex Assassin, Alex Kane!
Yo, that was a dope introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, it might as well go big, right, Alex?
Yes.
How you doing today?
Man, I'm good. I'm real good. I just got back from the gym, so right now I'm just relaxing, and I'm ready to get into this podcast with you guys.
All right. And could you tell us what you got coming up next?
Well, by the time this airs, I've already debuted for MLW. So hopefully you guys watch that. I think the biggest thing that I have coming up is the City Invitational Tournament. My first round match is with the one called Manders, and I'm extremely excited. So excited. I knew that was the match I was going to have, but I'm still excited for it.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a big one, right?
Oh, it was definitely a big match.
Yeah. And could you tell us where we could find you on social media and your merchandise?
My merchandise is on ProWrestlingTees.com/Suplex Island. And then you can follow me on Instagram at the Suplex Assassin and on Twitter at Alex_Kane11. Yeah, I'm trying to. Also, you can follow me on TikTok at the Suplex Assassin.
Ooh.
Trying to get to 1,000, man. Trying to get to 1,000.
Is that new, your TikTok?
It's been around. It's been around for a few months. I just now switched it to all wrestling stuff, because before it was just like a leisure account, but it's mostly all wrestling.
All right. And you can find all of those all those links in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Now you worked for WWA4. Can you tell us about your relationship with them?
That's the school that I trained at. I started training there in May of 2018. And I also debuted there September 2018. but yeah, that's my home school. So that's the place I go to train.
And of course, you were signed by MLW, like you said.
Yes.
Could you tell us about your relationship with them as of right now? Not, having a match yet.
Uh, I mean, the relationship's awesome. I was drafted number 2, so that's huge, especially with a guy that's only been wrestling for 2 years. Really, I can technically say it's one. I've been working shows for about a year, but wrestling for 2. Um, I mean, everybody's been really, really cool. I get to talk to Court Bauer pretty regularly, but like everybody that I've met so far has been really cool. So I'm extremely excited to work there. Meet everybody and form some unbreakable bonds with some people.
And what was that like, being a second draft pick, a second round draft pick? What does that do for like your confidence being so highly regarded? And what did it mean to you?
It definitely boosts my confidence, and lets me know that like all of what I'm doing the right thing. It also puts a lot of pressure on me, which I'm fine with pressure because I always deliver, but it's still a lot of pressure uh, for for one guy. But I mean, I believe in myself and they believe in me, and with those two things, can't nothing stop me.
All right. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, yes, we're a wrestling podcast, but here at Wrestling with Entertainment, we like to go beyond wrestling. No pun intended there. One of the things that struck me as very interesting is that you were a rugby player
Yep.
in high school and college.
No, just college.
Oh, just college. Okay. All
Just
right.
college.
Ain't no black rugby players in Atlanta, Scooter. Just for
No, actually, there are black rugby players in Atlanta.
Well,
or it wasn't as big. It wasn't as big as when I was there. So let me put it that way.
How? This is going to be a multi-layered question. How did you playing rugby come to happen in the first place? Would you say there's a significant difference between how America or the U.S. perceives rugby as opposed to other countries where it's more prevalent? And did playing rugby affect or teach you anything to help with your in-ring career?
So yeah, I'll just answer it from the in-ring career and down.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, in a way, as far as like being like really really physical, yeah, I'd say that. Because rugby's. I mean, I also did amateur wrestling in college, and I feel like rugby's a little bit more physical than amateur wrestling. So definitely playing rugby in college definitely helped with the physicality and the toughness. Um, and then as far as like rugby in America and rugby in other countries, I mean, there's like really like two styles of rugby played, and there's 15s and sevens played in America. I feel like in other countries it's a lot more hardcore, and there's more variety as far as the kinds of rugby that can be played. Um, and me playing rugby came about. So I was wrestling in college. I wrestled for I believe a year or two there, and I kind of got burnt out on wrestling. And the athletic director was like, "Yo, some of you wrestlers, if you want to try rugby, come try rugby." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna jump on this shit." And like we did like a full week of training with them, and I'm like, I really like this. I think I could do this. And I believe the wrestling team they had some drama and shit going on that I was trying to distance myself from. So I went ahead and just joined the rugby team, and that's that. I played rugby for a season, and then I effectively dropped out of college.
All right.
Clico, you have a question.
Man, I don't know where to start. I got my folk up in here. I just feel like it's a homecoming damn near. Let's see. Where do
Don't forget
we
the focus
start?
question. Wait, that's all.
Oh no, wrong one. Whatever. The one thing that I want to start with is I always think that Atlanta in itself is a underrated city when it comes to professional wrestling. I kind of get the vibe that Atlanta and in some cases Memphis are two of the biggest hubs for African American wrestlers to actually thrive and shine. I'm just wondering, could you elaborate if you feel that that's the case, and what makes Atlanta stand out so much for African Americans in wrestling?
I don't know. I don't know if Atlanta is underrated so much. I don't think Atlanta's overrated either. There's a lot of talent, especially in Georgia. There's a lot of wrestling talent. There's a lot of wrestling talent. But there aren't enough places in Georgia, I'll just say in Georgia. There's not enough places in Georgia for guys to really be seen. There's places that claim that they can get guys exposure, but they're really not getting them any exposure at all. I don't know too much about the Memphis scene too much. I've still yet to wrestle there. I remember at the beginning of my career, that was one of the places I was trying to get to, but it never worked out. But yeah, as far as Georgia goes, I feel like Georgia's oversaturated with talent. And like I said, there's not enough places for guys to get their shine. If we had more promotions that were on the same level as action wrestling, and it'd be awesome if they could all work together, but if there was another promotion that was at that same level that could get guys that same kind of exposure, it would be wrestling in Atlanta wrestling in Georgia would be huge. It would be the top state to wrestle in, I think.
All right. Now, what has it been like wrestling in the pandemic era of wrestling and in front of no crowd, and essentially having the crowds return?
Yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic when there was no crowds, like it was weird at first, but with myself, like most of the time I block out the crowd anyway. Like I'll block them out and I'll let them in when I need to, but most of the time, unless I'm like interacting with them, I block them out anyway. So it wasn't so weird for me, but I think it allowed guys to like really figure out who they were outside of having to work a crowd, so they can really like become in tune with who they needed to be. So when the crowd came back or whatever, they could take who they found out who they were and then apply it to the crowd. But I mean, this pandemic wrestling, it's probably been a curse for some people, but it's really been a gift for me. Like I don't think that I would be where I am right now if COVID ever happened. If COVID never happened, I'd probably get signed somewhere. It probably would have took like another 2, maybe 3 years for that to happen. But with COVID, I feel like it accelerated everything. For me, at least.
Interesting. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, you are an avid is putting it lightly, an avid gym guy, and there's a very interesting achievement that was noted when your signing with MLW was announced, and I'm hoping there's a very interesting story behind this. Can you tell us the story behind the 500-pound deadlift without using a support belt?
It's not a super crazy story, but it's pretty much me and my girlfriend were kind of like competing a little bit, not like hardcore competing, but she kept telling me I'm a deadlift 500 before you, and I'm like, oh, for real? Really? Okay, all right, game on. Like I didn't do any extensive training. I just kept trying to work with heavier and heavier weights every time I went and deadlifted. And then, like, I want to say, like, 3 weeks into doing that, I was like, fuck it, let me just try this right quick. And I was like, record this. I'm about to pull this shit. And I pulled it, and I was like, when pulling it felt hard as shit, but then, like, when you watch it back, it looked really smooth. Lifting heavy weights is weird as fuck. It'd be feeling like everything's about to like explode, but then you watch it back and it's like, that was so smooth. Why did it look so easy?
That's I love that. So you can almost say that your girlfriend is your driving inspiration behind wanting to be better every single time.
No, I wouldn't say that. She was my driving inspiration to deadlift 500 pounds because I wanted to beat her. But as far as everything else, I'm my own driving inspiration. Really, my driving inspiration is to show my nieces and my nephews that anything is possible.
No, and personally, having coming from being a former indie worker myself and having a nephew who's looking to get into training as well, I absolutely love and admire that, Alex. Bravo for that.
So,
Bang.
it's safe to say you reached 500 before she did.
Yes, I did. She still ain't touched it.
So how long did you stay on the couch before she forgave you?
Actually, she didn't put me on the. Well, I can be candid. She didn't put me on the couch for deadlifting 500 pounds. She put me on the couch because I snore.
Join the club. We have jackets.
Kaliko, you have a question.
Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you are a member of American Top Team, correct?
I am a part of American Top Team.
Awesome. And congratulations, by the way, because I think you're their new assignee. But another person who went to American Top Team and who's a professional wrestler is King Mo.
Yes.
And also, we're going in an MMA route, but Amanda Nunes, Robbie Lawler, the list goes on. What got you interested into American Top Team, and what are some of the elements from training with some of the best MMA fighters and MMA trainers in the world allow you to incorporate into your wrestling style?
So with American Top Team and MLW, I haven't since with everything in the pandemic, I haven't actually had a chance to train at an American Top Team facility. But me joining American Top Team was more of Dan Lambert like negotiating my contract. So he's bringing me into American Top Team. but it wasn't like a decision of mine. Like, hey, I'm joining American Top Team. It was like, we want this guy, bring the guy in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. But also with being with American Top Team, because usually that's like the MMA factory in some cases. Have you ever thought of competing in an MMA ring, considering that you have one of the strongest bases to start in MMA and professional wrestling and actual amateur wrestling?
I've thought about it a few times. I really have, but I don't like getting punched in the face. I don't even like getting punched in the face in a wrestling ring. So I don't know if I like to do it in an MMA situation. I think maybe like in my like mid 30s, maybe like 35, 40 or whatever, I may give it a go. But for right now, nah.
I mean, Herschel Walker did it at 48 and was undefeated for a hot minute. So I'm pretty sure you're capable, more than capable.
So you are the Suplex Assassin. You were
That I
saying
am.
you drove people around. Is there somebody that you drew that you didn't expect to get as much distance as they actually did?
Ooh, there's been a few. When I wrestled Charlie Cruel at Parkade, um, I mean, she's light. She's really light. But when I toss her, and like when I throw people, most of the time I watch them as they go. And sometimes I'm like, especially when I threw her, I was like, I think I put a little bit too much on that one. A little bit too much on that one.
She got airtime, right?
She definitely got airtime.
Looking like a crash test dummy.
She could have read a whole book cover to cover. As far as
She started in Georgia and she ended up in Tennessee. Scooter, can you have a question?
Yes. Now, MLW is unique in now in its seasonal approach to pro wrestling, and this is something that certain famous voices of the wrestling community have been advocating for a while. Jim Cornette, for example. Given that you are relatively new to MLW, do you think the seasonal approach that MLW has been using is beneficial for both wrestlers and promoters? Do you think it helps avoid shortening careers? And do you think, or is it something you'd like to see more promotions adopt on behalf of keeping talent healthy?
definitely, I feel like it allows for better storytelling because you start whatever stories that you start at the beginning of your season, you play that out through the episodes, and you pay it off at the end, and then everybody chills out for some time, and then you come back into the next season. So it's not all year round. You're wrestling and beating up your body. Like I don't. I've never. I don't understand. I don't get the point in that. I don't get the point in that. There should definitely be an off season of wrestling. It should not be all the fucking time, unless it's on the independent or whatever. Because you're not most places you're not wrestling every fucking week.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You're wrestling maybe twice a week. I mean, not twice a week, twice a month, or once a month. And sometimes it's not even every month. Sometimes it's every other month. So I do think that the season approach is dope. Is really dope. It's going to lengthen a lot of careers. It's going to lengthen a lot of careers.
All right.
Khalifa, you have a question.
Yes. one of your biggest influences in your wrestling career is Shelton Benjamin, and I think that's interesting. I got to meet him. He's a really really cool dude. Really really very kind, very genuine. And I think he's one of those guys where he's done a lot, and a lot of people really don't think of his name. Like everybody knows he tagged with Brock, and Brock, of course, became Brock. But no one really like gives the flowers to Shelton Benjamin as much as they should. I'm giving you a chance to explain how he became your influence and to give him his flowers from yourself.
Shelton became my influence. Like there wasn't. I mean, yeah, there was. You had The Rock, you had Booker T, you had Farouk, but like there was when I was watching wrestling, there was really nobody that I could really like see myself in that I could like identify with. And when I started doing amateur wrestling in high school, I was looking for somebody on TV that I could identify with. And when Shelton came onto the scene, I was like, "Yo, this dude looks like me." I mean, I'm nowhere near as athletic as he is, but like, I want to be just like Shelton Benjamin. Um, and like, I really, really fell in love with him during his Gold Standard run. Like, I literally changed my Facebook name in high school and in college to the Gold Standard. I was a Gold Standard, and like my friends would always be like, "What does that even mean?" It's like it's a nickname of my favorite wrestler. Jesus, be quiet, get out of here. Um, but like he's he's has he's he has influences on every part of my like wrestling style. Um, like I mean, again, I'm nowhere near as athletic as he is, and I never will be. But the thing that I like about Shelton's one of those guys who can make anybody look like $1 million while making himself look great. Um, like yeah, he has his flashes of like athletic brilliance or whatever, but like when it comes to uh, just having like good solid matches every single time. Like I've never watched a Shelton Benjamin match and not been entertained or ever been disappointed. Um, and like I feel like I feel like more people should study Shelton Benjamin. Honestly, um, because everything he does is smooth. There's no waste of motion. There's no fuck ups. There's no botches or whatever. Everything he does is smooth. Um, and he's been doing it. I don't even know how old he is. What is he, like 40 something now? He's been doing it for a long ass time. Uh, I would love for Shelton to have a world championship run. I'd love it. I'd really love it. Um, and I feel like if he keeps going, I mean he's still got time to do it. There's still time to do it. So I'm hoping he gets that chance. Whether it's a chance to hold it or just a run at it, whichever one, I hope he gets it.
It's funny you say that because I thought he would have got a chance once Lashley became champion. They broke up the Hurt business. I felt like that could have been a good opportunity just to get some fresh challenges and a fresh perspective. So, what do you think of his current run so far? Because I feel like he's still got it, and he's turning them out. He's making Cedric Alexander look good. He's making everybody he touches look good.
I haven't watched Raw in forever.
You and me
I,
both.
I just haven't. I mean, I hear things here and there, but like if I were to hear that he was getting a run, I'd probably end up watching it again. But if they're just gonna keep him buried in the mid card, I can go watch old Shelton Benjamin matches where he was competing for championship.
All right. Now
They didn't get rid of that god awful theme song. Jesus Christ.
You know what? That's a great segue. You have your own custom ring music.
Yes.
How important is it to have that one unique thing to you, and how you're represented when you come out to the ring?
Man, people don't understand how important custom theme music is. I tell people all the time, my music gets me over before people even see me because my name is repeated constantly, my gimmick is repeated constantly. The song is a banger, and it's catchy.
Oh, yeah.
So if you, I mean, your song doesn't have to be rap or anything like that. It can be anything, as long as it's catchy and like people can nod their head to it. If people can add it to their playlist of regular music and listen to it seamlessly with everything else they're listening to, you've got gold. Because so many guys want to use their favorite song off of YouTube, and that song have any may not mesh with their character. It doesn't match with their character, but they want to use it because it's cool or it's going to get a pop. But you're not getting a pop because they like you. You're getting a pop because of the song. Like when the Old Town Road song came out, everybody's using it. I'm like, you're not getting a pop because they think you're good. You're getting a pop because the song is cool. I feel like custom music is just as important as custom gear. It's probably actually more important.
I can agree more with you because, like, it seems like everybody wants to either come out to AC/DC, what are they called? AC/DC, Metallica, the hard rock bands to get the pop. But, having something, a little subtle, a little, more methodical, it catches people's attention and all the eyes are really on you rather than just singing along to a catchy song.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. When do you get paid?
When do I get paid?
The part of the song?
Oh. On the first.
Oh, well, that was trying to get
No one's ever done that one before.
Hey man, stop pocket watching, James. Stop pocket watching.
Alright, I was just trying to, fess a little bit. Spitter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, of course, you've mentioned it many times already, your amateur background, your collegiate background. And, of course, we know the story behind Kurt Angle and his broken freaking neck in Atlanta in '96. Was there ever a possibility of you trying to compete for Team USA in wrestling at the Olympics?
No. Mm-mm. I was good, but I was not that good.
Brutal honesty. I love it. All right. Okay, I have a backup question for that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did a seminar with the legendary Dan Severn?
Yes.
Can you please explain what that was like? Because what we saw of him, at least back during the Attitude Era, we didn't see much of him, but we should have seen more of him. How much? Just if you could please describe what that experience was like.
It was way more relaxed than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a really, really, really tough day. But Dan is like super chill, super laid back. The seminar was mostly doing for me, it was kind of like a refresher course of what I did in college as far as freestyle wrestling goes. So we just drilled we did like some pummeling stuff. He taught us his like he does like a belly to belly, but it's like off of the ropes. He taught us that, which I have yet to use. But yeah, it was basically like it was like a mini wrestling camp, but for amateur wrestling.
And quick follow up to that, do you know if anyone coming out of that seminar needed a protector vest afterwards, like D'Lo Brown did?
No.
Okay.
Kaliko, you have a question.
Man, I do. But my first question is, before I do that, it's just totally unrelated. Dogs or yellow jackets?
I'm gonna have to go with the Yellow Jackets.
Oh God! I mean, Roman with the Georgia Tech, so I let it slide there. I let it slide. Jeez.
Roll Tide.
That hurt my heart.
I mean, honestly, I don't really watch college football. When I did watch college football before wrestling, I was in Alabama. I was a diehard Alabama fan.
Oh God, that's even worse. That's even worse. Jesus Christ, that's just I just put this what?
My wife and her family from Alabama. Roll Tide.
Oh God, Jesus. All right, back onto the topic of the scene. One thing that I posted out recently, and it was about a guy, and he basically was the biggest wrestling fan in the world. And one of the things that he used wrestling for was a connection to his father, who subsequently died of cancer. And I noted you said that you used to get bullied at one point, and that wrestling was your muse and escape, basically to give up from life. I think all three of us, or all four of us, have had that point where wrestling actually got us out of a dump. I was just wanting to know if you could elaborate. You don't have to go too personal, but if you could just elaborate the importance of wrestling in your life during that time, because I feel like when mainstream wrestling looks at it, people look at it as like this whatever, but to the community as a whole, at some point, it got us out of really, really bad situations in our lives.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight candid with you. I can't remember the day, but there was a point in time where I was getting bullied for how I looked, the clothes that my parents could afford, and all that. And I came home, and when I look back on it now, it wouldn't have worked. But at the time or whatever, I felt like hanging myself in my closet was the only way out. And like I wrapped the belt around my neck, and like as I'm starting to lean forward on it, I'm thinking in my mind like, if you do this, you'll never be able to chase that dream of being a professional wrestler. And I'm sitting there like bawling my eyes out, like, no, this is not the end of my story. I'm going to become one of the best professional wrestlers ever, and I'm going to prove all of these people who are making fun of me and talking bad about me wrong. So that was my moment to fully focus everything onto being a professional wrestler.
Wow. That was very strong.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that with us.
And yeah, I appreciate that, because I think a lot of people don't know like the power of actual like liking something like professional wrestling. Like it seems like most people, oh, yeah, it's fake and da 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 da. But for some of us, it's more than just the wrestling, and I appreciate that, sir.
I feel like even the people who try to say that it's fake, they know that it's more than just the wrestling. Because like as much as people try to shit on Vince for like taking the focusing less on the wrestling and more of the theatrics and more of the characters, like I feel like to an extent that's what he should have done anyway. Because I mean, like a wrestling purist is going to connect with somebody who can really like wrestle around and stuff. But the casual fan is going to connect to a character. Is going to identify with the character and a character story. And I feel like if more like casual fans had characters on television that they could connect with and identify with, I feel like wrestling. I feel like more people who don't necessarily like professional wrestling would like professional wrestling. But so many people think of it as like as in the terms of like football or baseball or whatever, when it's athletic Broadway.
That's a great way to look at it. And it's this whole it kind of seems like wrestling is more than just wrestling nowadays. It's more of like a community, and we kind of all find all people. I highly doubt that me and Scooter would know each other if it wasn't for wrestling, or Kaliko. Oh, and now I mean now. We're all part of this thing called the wrestling community that we could all kind of lean on each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
I definitely feel that.
You have a twin brother, correct?
I do.
Now, that being said, if you wanted to become a pro wrestler, would you be the supportive brother, or would you be the Roman Reigns fallen line loose head of the table brother?
I would be. Yeah, he'd have to fall in line.
I love your honesty.
He'd have to fall in line. Definitely. You're playing the games. I can't have you shitting on the great name of Alex Kane. Making me look bad out here.
Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Let's see. Which one should I go with? Okay.
Don't forget the Burger King question.
Burger King, yeah.
Okay then.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
When it came to designing your gear, you used the create a wrestler option in a wrestling video game?
Not my gear, but the Suplex Assassin. That's how I came up with the Suplex Assassin, is using the Creator Wrestling Suite in 2K19.
Ah, okay. And then follow-up question, and I know you've seen this, and maybe you're the person who put this up. I don't know, but we'll find out. How did it feel to see yourself on the Steam Workshop as a download for Fire Pro Wrestling World?
Yo, I'm trying to remember who sent. My friend PJ, he sent that to me out of the blue, actually. And I was like, yo, like, hold on. Yeah. That was really, really cool. Like, I really didn't expect that people who play, Fire Pro World would even know who I am. I mean, yeah, like my my name is getting out there, but I didn't think that anybody would be like, "Oh yeah, let's create Alex Kane in a video game." I thought that was going to come much later.
All right.
Did you get to play as yourself in Firefly? Or
Huh?
did you get to play as yourself, or did you just see it?
Oh, I just saw it.
Okay.
I don't have the means to play.
Well,
Firefly.
I've downloaded it, and I'm eagerly awaiting as soon as we get done with this interview. I'm putting you air quotes in the ring.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, look at the shadow. I got very
your-
big muscles.
Oh, your
Look
pro
at the
wrestling
shadow.
video games.
The shadow
What's your go-to?
a big muscle.
Hello?
I think you might have to repeat that, James.
When it comes to video games, what's your go-to, Alex?
My go-tos right now. I just started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey again. So I'm having fun with that again. NBA 2K. The Division games, I'll pick those up every now and again. But since like there's nothing else to do in those games, like I'll play it for a few days and then I'll get off of it. What else? Yeah, those are pretty much my go-tos. I like either adventure games or a really good shooter, but like not like the battle royale shit. I cannot stand that shit. But like a shooter, a shooter with a good story. Like I like those games. I like a game with a good story.
Now you're breaking Scooter's heart. But like about the WWE video games, the wrestling video games, are you skeptical or are you excited for 2K22?
I think I'm definitely a skeptic still. Because I feel like 2K22, I feel like it's not going to be any different. I feel like they're taking all this time. I feel like they're going to just give us last year's game, add some stuff that nobody asked for, because that's what they always do.
Yeah.
They're going to add a bunch of shit that nobody asked for. They're not going to improve the gameplay. They're not going to improve any of those things. It's like for me, it's like all these years. I remember when like all the SmackDown versus Raw games, and even like the up to like WWE 13.
That's a good one.
Like it is a good game, but like they couldn't even get like the entrances right, like where the person was walking out of. The freaking curtain would be all the way over here on the left, and they'd still be walking out like straight. But like in what is it, Day of Reckoning, like they got it right, but the engine that they used was shitty. But it was still, even then, that game was still more realistic than like some of these newer games. So I mean, hopefully, because the biggest thing, like I will hope the creation suite is extensive. Because I remember in all the older games, like you could pretty much create anything.
Yeah.
Anything and anyone. So hopefully we get that back, and hopefully they give us if they were gonna go with any kind of like career mode, story mode, season. I think they should go with a season mode, kind of like SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I don't know why the game doesn't get as much credit as it should. The game should get a lot of fucking credit. The game was fucking awesome. I can go back today and still play that game. But I feel like they should go back to a season mode with story. But like you can kind of outside, if you're not in a storyline, you can kind of do what the fuck you want to do.
Absolutely, and I mean, Dave Reckoning and Such Your Mouth are two of maybe the more underrated ones, because everybody, and myself included, like, Here Comes the Kane, the original SmackDown versus Raw, No More C,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
But
Here Comes the Pain is cool. I like Here Comes the Pain because like whatever you do in season mode like blends over to like the actual gameplay. So if you win a belt in season mode, you have that belt outside of it or whatever. You can do whatever.
right,
I think you can even defend it.
yeah,
Which that's cool. I like that. They could have some of that in there. But like the season mode in Here Comes the Pain is not nearly as extensive as the one in Shut Your Mouth. Like it's just not. And then with even the SmackDown versus Raw games, those games were more like you didn't have you really didn't have any choice in anything. You had to do what they told you to do.
true.
There wasn't that freedom. I just want a wrestling game that has some freedom to it. It has some branching storylines. I understand that is a lot of hard work and takes a lot of time, but you've had 2 years to do so.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. Kaliko, you have a question. Kaliko? I think we may have lost Kaliko.
No.
The catch a trend in the black wrestling starting to catch a trend, and it's starting to get there where African American wrestlers are being recognized. So I just wanted to see, have you elaborate on the importance of that for you and your legacy.
Repeat that.
Just wondering if you could elaborate the importance of being one of the great black wrestlers and etching your name in black wrestling history.
That's awesome. That's it. I mean, hopefully one day I'm one of the great black wrestlers. Like that is definitely something I am striving to become. And I feel like it's awesome to finally, like, for little black kids and little black girls, and to have people to look up to, people to believe in. Like I remember seeing a video of a little girl watching Bianca Belair win the women's championship, and like it brought a tear to my eye to see how invested she was in Bianca Belair becoming women's champion. And I could literally see the impact that had on her, and that's gonna build the next generation of like kids that look like me that want to be professional wrestlers, because now they see people that look like them at the top of the WWE, and they're not going to be like discouraged or whatever to think like, oh well, no one that looks like me has ever been to the top. But so now they have people that are like getting that shine on a major platform, and then also the little kids that come to independent shows and they see like Black Girl Magic and For the Culture, like these like whole shows dedicated to black talent. That's awesome. That would have been unheard of 10, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago. Well, it's probably not 5 years ago, but probably 10, 15 years ago. That'd be unheard of. And so many people that like little black kids and little black girls can like latch onto and make heroes out of. And I just think it's dope. I think it's really, really, really awesome.
Well, you are on your way. You was on the Black Wrestler 500 list. You were 296.
Yes.
What might sound a little high, but only a couple years in the business, and breaking the top 300, that's still pretty impressive. Could you tell us what that maybe meant to you?
That came by a surprise. I thought I was going to be much, much lower because I didn't think anybody knew who the fuck I was at that time because that's before like I started to blow up. So to see that, I was like, yo, because I was ranked a little bit higher than some people that have been some people that I know that have been wrestling longer than I have. So to be there, to be in that spot was dope. I'm excited to see where I land when it comes out again this year.
Well, was only interested as well. Well, definitely not number one because I think that's reserved for Scorpio Sky. If you know Righteous Reg, Too Cold Scorpio, my bad.
Yeah, Too Cold Scorpio. He is number one.
Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Okay. Very typical on the spot question. Suplexes versus arm bars. Who has more, you or Chris Jericho?
Oh wow! I definitely have more suplexes.
Damn straight.
Can you name all the suplexes, though?
No, I can't actually. I can't name them all. I can do them all, but I can't name them all.
Fair enough. Kaliko, you have a question. Oh, you have a colossal question, correct?
Yeah, I do, but considering it's Atlanta, I kind of feel like where it's gonna go. But I'll let that decide. Considering that you've been wrestling only a couple of years and you're literally on the verge of stardom, I feel like you're there already. Based on your career, let's say they do a movie and just this is it, this is the end, and it's gonna star Wesley Snipes is Alex Kane, and every movie has a soundtrack. What are the 5 songs that would best represent your wrestling career to this point?
Oh. Just my wrestling career or my life?
You can do both. I know your theme song's number one. So we'll give it.
Yeah, my theme song's number one. If we're doing my life, yeah, still my theme song's number one. Win by J Rock. That's for like the in betweens. Cool Kid, Echo Smith, Cool Kids for like young Alex. Oh man. I don't. I don't like Lil Pump, but Lil what is it? What is that song? Is it called? What is the name of that damn song?
What are you thinking?
It's a Lil Pump song.
Please don't say Gucci Gang.
No, not Gucci Gang.
I mean, we could come back to it if you want to try and remember.
No, it's Boss. I think it's Boss.
All right. I think
it's. Yeah, that's the song. Lil Pump, Boss. It would be. I think that would be 5. My theme song, Win. No, that's 4. 5? What would be the 5th song of my soundtrack? Bad Boy for Life. What is it? Was that just P. Diddy? Yeah.
It was P. Diddy and Mark Curry and
Yep, P. Diddy, the Saga Continues album. Damn, that was
Yeah.
underrated
That's
album.
on.
Underrated album.
All right. Do you want to lock in those answers?
I'm locking into those answers.
All right. Now, you're also a part of the Big Stocks brand. Can you tell us about how you joined and what's your relationship with Billy?
I joined the Big Stars brand. I want to say, so it's fun. So I officially met Billy at a show in Tennessee, which I didn't know she was going to be on, but she showed up, and I think she put me over on Twitter, because I think the week before that I had done the Future Showcase, and Dylan Hales was really, really high on me. So she's listening to his podcast or an interview from him, and he was talking about me. So she was like, "I want to see what the Alice Kane guy's all about." So after the show or whatever, after my match, she tweeted again like, "Okay, this Dylan Hales was right. This guy is good." I think she said something to that effect. But like me, I always see everybody with these Big Starks brand knee sleeves on. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So I believe it was at an action show. I think I wrestled Logan Creed, and after that match, like I was just like, fuck, I'm just gonna ask what the hell this Big Starks brand thing is. And I got to talking to Mouse, which is her dad. I got to talking to Mouse about it. He basically told me like, yo, it's just a way for me to put guys over. It's a lifestyle. Like guys and girls that are out here getting it, like making a name for themselves, working, following this dream aggressively. And because it's a parody of Big Baller Brand, which is it's fun. But yeah, I talked to him about it. They signed me to Big Stars brand, and it's been money ever since.
Oh yeah, I mean we're Big Stocks brand too. We're never lost.
Never lost, baby.
Yeah. All right, time for the controversial things. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Pineapple belongs on pizza. It really does.
Ooh.
I think so. Got some salty, got some sweet. Gotta have it. It's not gonna be on every pizza I have, but it belongs there, no doubt.
Follow-up question: do pineapples belong on shirts?
Yes, I have a shirt. I have a shirt with pineapples on it, but I can't wear it because it's gotten too small.
That's exactly why I asked that question.
Oh, nice.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Man, my spirit Pokemon. Bulbasaur.
All right. Oh, gee. Sweet. And the weirdest question you'll ever be asked on a wrestling podcast. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, Scooter.
Not the country.
An actual rock.
Yeah, it would, depending on how big the rock is. If it's just like a regular, like, little pebble rock, no. If it's, like, close to being a boulder, hell yeah.
Just for context, there was this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in what was a 2-week Iron Man match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that on YouTube?
I can send it to you. You wouldn't be the first to
Yeah,
ever looking for it.
I want to see that.
Again, I will send it to you for sure. Kaliko, you have any last questions?
I just need his address to send him this UGA flag.
Nah, don't send me the UGA flag. It's not that I think that Georgia sucks or anything. When I was growing up, I was born in Georgia, but I was only here for the amount of time that I was in the NICU because I was born premature. So we moved to Florida, and we stayed there for I want to say 9 or 12 years, somewhere in there. And when we moved back to Georgia, and we would wear our Miami Dolphins jerseys to school, and we got accosted by the students you need UGA stuff, and I'm like, but I don't want UGA stuff. So I think from that day on, it's been fuck Georgia all day. You got stuff. I couldn't get elected to my life.
Hurt my soul right there. Hurt my soul.
Now, it is once again time for that segment. Alex Kane's Bizarre Adventure. You're a wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Do I have a road story that fits that description? No, I don't have a road story that fits that description. My travels be pretty smooth, be pretty straightforward.
Oh. Okay then. Alright, then where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Let's see. My contract is 3. Hopefully, an MOW champion. If not an MOW champion, maybe in WWE or AEW in 5 years. Maybe we'll see.
All right.
Or whatever company sprouts up after that. But hopefully, I'm still in the MOW making lots of money.
All right. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Alex Kane is all about?
My match with Cole Radrick. My match with O'Shea Edwards. There's one other match.
I will say the Cole Roderick one was fantastic.
The triple threat match that you had?
My match with Brian Keith. Those are the 3 go-tos.
Well, how about we put the Cole Roderick match in the description of the video below?
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah. Alright. Since we're nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, 8 questions of doom.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready, Alex?
I think I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Greatest wrestler of all time? The Rock.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Worst wrestler of all time? Goldust.
Alright.
Damn.
Just got AEW contracted by.
Dustin Rhodes isn't bad. What he's doing in AEW now is great, but Goldust in WWE, not so much.
So you're saying the character of Goldust is the
The
worst?
character of Goldust. Yeah, the character of Goldust, not Dustin Rhodes.
Okay.
He's
Got
probably a
it.
swell guy.
Okay, we got
He's
you.
probably a
We
swell
can
guy.
take that.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who was your opponent?
My opponent for WrestleMania, if I'm main eventing WrestleMania, it would be the longest shot in the bucket. But if I could main event WrestleMania with anybody, it would be AR5.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Triple H is my time.
Oh, interesting. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Alive and well.
squash, fruit or vegetable?
Hold on, say that again.
Squash, fruit or vegetable?
Soup.
It is indeed a fruit.
I think he said soup.
Soup?
I said soup.
Soup.
Yeah.
He said soup. And that's a right answer to me. Butternut squash soup. Oh.
Yeah, you got it right there. New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I don't really know. I don't really know about the appropriate ratio. What I will say is, if you're gonna wear trunks, you have to have an ass. You can't be out here walking around with a pancake. It don't look good. You gotta have some cake.
All right. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Hell no.
And that is the correct answer. That will conclude this interview. Thank you so much, Alex, for coming on and doing this with us.
Thank you guys for having me. This was actually really fun.
And once again, where can we find everything Alex Kane?
You can find everything Alex Kane on Instagram at the Suplex Assassin, TikTok at the Suplex Assassin. I'm trying to get to 1,000 on TikTok, so help me out with that. And Twitter, Alex_Kane11. I'm active on Twitter, pretty active. And then buy my merchandise, ProWrestlingTees.com/Suplex Island, please and thank you. And those are my plugs.
All right, and all of those links will be in the description of the video below. You've been listening to him for an hour. Buy a damn shirt. It's in the description of the video. Click it. Buy a shirt. And if you like what we're doing here on Wrestling With, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us next week on the show as we interview Anthony Idol. The week after that, Brutal Bob Evans. And you can, of course, this episode was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. And follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling with E. Follow us individually as well. I'm at JamesJ993. What can they find, Kaliko?
You can find me trying to create the Suplex Assassin's Creed video game at I am Kaliko.
That's great.
What can they find, Scooter?
As always, you can find me in bed with your wife, or you can find me on Twitter at ScooterDust, and of course on Twitch along with me and Enrico Constantino Jr. as part of the Smoking Dragons, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons. 20 sides to every story. Come be part of ours. A lot of Sea of Thieves going on this week. And, of course, the remix, the still unmatched, only live streaming alternate audio commentary wrestling podcast. Join James and I as we cover Money in the Bank. Only on the remix.
All right, Alex, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
All right.
For our very special guest, Alex Kane, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.